Hello everyone and welcome to the Auto Perspective YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the new Ram TRX and how different it is from the rest of the Ram lineup. I'm going to start by making a little introduction to the truck so you know what it's all about. Then I'm going to talk about the design, the performance, what they changed compared to the regular Ram, which is a lot, also the tech, and finally some conclusions. So here we go. Introduction. Finally, a real Raptor competitor is here and it's amazing. After a long time of rumors and spy shots, FCA has revealed the Ram TRX, and it's way more than just a Ram Rebel with a Hellcat engine. They really put some effort into this thing to make it stand out not only from its competition but from the rest of the Ram lineup. It has 702 horsepower, 660 pound-feet of torque, and a top speed of 118 miles per hour. It can do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, and the quarter mile only takes 12.9 seconds at 108 miles per hour. Unlike the Raptor, the TRX only comes in one configuration, crew cab with a 5.7 bed, and yes, it's more expensive. MSRP starts at $71,690 and the launch editions starts at $88,570, but those are already sold out at the time of recording this video according to Ram, and those are just the starting prices, but with options it gets even more expensive, upwards of $100,000 if you're not careful with how many boxes you check in the online configurator. It's more expensive than a Raptor, yes, but you also get more power and luxury to justify that premium. Design. The thing is big. I was saying at the beginning this is way more than just a Ram Rebel with a Hellcat engine. They really put a lot of engineering to make the Ram TRX stand out from the rest of the Ram pickup lineup, and you see that at a first glance. The truck is taller, it's very wide and muscular, and it looks badass, and it's just not looks but function. See, to give the buyers a real compelling reason to choose the Ram TRX over a Raptor, their only option was to put the Hellcat engine, a 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8 making 702 horsepower. They are not calling it a Hellcat, that's for brand differentiation purposes I assume, but what I know for sure is this engine made the truck change in many ways, including the design. The hood scoop, for example, is not just sitting there to look pretty, but it's functional. The engine needs so much air that the hood scoop feeds 60% of it to the engine. The other 60% enters via the front grille, where they even had to make the signature Ram letters bigger with flow-through design in order to get proper airflow. To handle so much power, they had to use some heavy-duty components with a lot of high-strength aluminum to keep the weight down. And of course, it's not only the power, but let's not forget this is a desert runner type of vehicle. High-speed off-road that is, which means it's gotta be able to jump, and for that they had to fit wider axles and bigger tires to keep it stable. In fact, the TRX has a 6-inch increase in track width, which completely alters the external appearance of the truck. To cover that increase in track width, along with the 35-inch tires, they put some really cool wide fenders with air curtains integrated around the headlights to relieve high-pressure zones at the front corners, which make the truck look more muscular by overall being 8 inches wider than regular Ram. When it comes to the interior, again, here you can see how they sort of justify the high price. They kept the use of premium materials, and there are 3 interior options. You got the TR, TR1 and TR2. TR being the most basic with premium cloth and vinyl accents, and then TR1 and TR2 are based on the Ram Limited with all black leather color scheme with leather and suede standard, medium, gray stone stitching and graphite metallic accents. Also, TR2 has available thread stitching and carbon fiber accents. The front seats are new and different from the regular Ram, featuring enhanced upper bolster to keep you in place while running at high speeds through the desert. They have embroidered logos, which is cool, and an SRT flat bottom steering wheel, aluminum paddle shifters, the return of a console mounted gear lever with cast metal main grip wrapped in semi-perforated leather, head-up display available on Tier 2, and finally one of the main pieces to complement the interior and make the truck even more special, a custom specification plate on the console lid showing the engine that's under the hood, the type of supercharger, the boost output, horsepower, and the vehicle-specific vehicle identification number VIN. Performance. Here they're making a big deal out of the air intake system. Not only design-wise, but functionally it's very cool too. It basically uses what they're calling a dual-path induction system, which in more simple words means the engine collects air from 2 different places. One is the front grille, where they had to make the use of bigger hollow Ram letters to let the air pass through them, and the other one is of course the hood scoop. The way it works, it's quite cool too. Remember, this is a desert runner, so filtering dust especially, it's very important. The TRX has a very large 29-liter air box that filters out unwanted elements like sand and water by directing the air to the bottom section to help water and dirt settle out before air reaches the engine. The air box is mounted on top of the engine to make it easy to quickly clean the filters, and it is sealed against the hood scoop to prevent hot air from entering the system. The Ram TRX also has a very complex sensors that actively monitor different inputs such as wheel speed, wheel hop at launch, jump detection, among others, to change the engine speed and torque, the gear selection, damping rates, and other powertrains and suspension components in order to prevent damage. There are also 5 dynamics on-road modes: Auto, Sport, Tow, Snow, and Custom, as well as 3 dynamic off-road modes. You get Mud, Sand, Rock, and Baja. They separately control the 4-wheel drive system, throttle response, transmission, paddle shifter, suspension, and the electric power steering. Changes. At this point, I think I had mentioned twice that even though the TRX is technically based on a Ram Rebel, it is so much more. Not only the very muscular design, which is very apparent right out of the gate when you see it, but underneath, from the chassis up. To just say they reinforce the frame may sound like an understatement here. In the picture, you can see the green sections of the chassis are updated. They build a strong foundation to better handle suspension load, that is, thicker high-strength steel, fully boxed side rails, and hydroformed sections to reduce the need of welding. Attached to that better foundation is a new suspension with a 2-inch lift which allows room for 35-inch tires. This combo gives the TRX some impressive approach angle of 32 degrees, breakover of 21.9 degrees, departure of 23.5 degrees, and 11.8 inches of ground clearance. The tires are exclusively developed 35-inch Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain, and you get the option to go for 18 by 9-inch pitlock capable wheels from the factory. Remember, pitlocks are not highway legal because of the risk of rolling, so that's why they are pitlock capable. The suspension is one of those key components where they had to pay special attention to, and so they did. They are using new 2.5-inch built-in Black Hawk E2 adaptive performance shocks in the 4 corners with remote reservoir and dual electronic proportional valves to continuously adjust damping forces for precise control of compression and rebound damping. In front, there is an all-new independent suspension, not only the shocks and the lift, but also new longer forged aluminum upper and lower control arms. On the back, there's even more magic. Unlike the Raptor, the TRX uses a coiled suspension instead of a lift spring. The standard Ram also uses a coiled spring, but in the TRX, there's different hard points to the frame. Here, the 5-link setup with the longer control arms, taller coiled springs allows 35 inches of suspension travel, while still being capable of 1,310-pound max payload and 8,100-pound of tow capacity. Some other changes include heavy-duty Dana 60 rear axle with reinforced housing, full floating axle shaft, axle hub damper to improve traction and axle control on rough surfaces, rear electronic locking differential, full-time active transfer case, and 2.64 to 1 load range for rock crawling. Technology-wise, the Ram TRX comes standard with the Uconnect 4C nav 12-inch fully configurable touchscreen, which can be divided in half for 2 applications. There's also an audiophile quality Harman audio system with 19 speakers, and a 10-inch subwoofer. The gauge cluster uses traditional analog gauges for the speedometer and tachometer and a 7-inch TFT configurable display in the middle. There are performance pages that include timers for 0 to 60, G-force, gauges, and engine performance. You can also see the ride height transfer case position, pitch, and roll, among other things. Conclusions. Now, something important to be clear about: the main reason this truck exists is to compete with the Raptor, and while it's more expensive, you also get more. So that's kind of the argument to justify the price. You get more engine, more power, and more luxury. At least as of now. Ford revealed the new F-150 back in late June, and even though they didn't announce the Raptor back then, we all know they are working on it as we speak. So we'll still have to wait for that one to truly make fair comparisons between the two. In the meanwhile, I think this new new Ram TRX delivers on what it promised. First, it's not a regular Ram with a lift kit. Engineering and design-wise, it's so much more. They put so much effort on it that they really managed to come up with a very different and especially capable truck that looks cool and performed as well as it looks. This one is meant to be the halo vehicle of Ram brand, and I think it very well deserves that spot. Here they have a product that in my opinion Ram really needs to keep getting people's attention so that not only they can compete with the Raptor, but they can continue to attract buyers to their lineup of trucks to surpass the Silverado and establish themselves as the second best selling truck in America, which is something that they haven't fully secured yet.